Hello. Thank you for coming to our fourth podcast. I got to keep track of these things like Randy does over here. So, Mr. Podcast Professional. Anyways, welcome. I'm Terry. This is Clint with us. Elizabeth will be here in a little bit. And today we're going to introduce you guys to Randy and Andrew. Randy's actually a second-year sponsor. We actually have two sponsors this year that are second-year sponsors. And Randy's just one of the, I don't know, we both feed off of each other about different stuff, and he's just he's always a great person to have on one of these. And I figured we introduced him early, and everybody's getting excited for this thing to happen. So welcome everybody.
Nice.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Cool. All right.
And Andrew, look at me. I got my spring training on. I got my Cubs hat on. I got my baseball. Yeah.
You're repping hard, man.
Exactly.
I'm so fired up for the conference. So, yes.
Well, we're going to have to get you a spring training shirt when you get here.
Oh, yeah.
And a tattoo as well.
Yeah, tattoo for sure.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. The VIP tattoo day that we're going to
Now, I don't want to get you off base on something, but I just saw this not too long. I showed this to my wife actually a couple of weeks ago, where you can get temporary tattoos. And they're cheap actually for $10 or I would do that. Give me a temporary SEO Spring Training tattoo. I'd do that.
Are you talking like henna?
I got a lot of real estate right here. I could,
I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Randy, since you're already right there, introduce yourselves. How'd you get in this business? What do you like to do? Definitely talk about 38 Digital. All that good stuff. That I'm a huge Randy fanboy with his press releases.
Randy fanboy. That's
Randy fanboy. That sounded a little weird.
Yeah, I know.
Not significant for work. Jeez.
that sounded a little. Yeah, I like you too, Terry. Hey, thanks, buddy. It's always fun to hook up with you. So I'm Randy, Randy the news guy from 38 Digital Marketing. We do a lot of different services, but one that we do primarily is press release distribution services. So we write them, we distribute them, we report on them, build out links to them for you, all kinds of fun stuff. Been doing that for really since about 2017, and continue to expand and grow and try to get better. Got a lot of great clients. Like Terry, I tell you, it's always fun to work with you because, as we sit and we talk about PRs and about the links and what you can do beforehand and after, and just to continue to drive improvement of performance and use for the PRs. So I always appreciate, working with you closely and having these conversations about PRs, because it helps me get better and delivering a better end result for everybody. So that's always fun.
For sure. It's I'm a huge, I love press releases. And we've been doing it, stacking them for, I don't know, two plus years now. Actually teaching it tomorrow in my last SEO class, our bonus week. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
How did you even get into press releases? Is it something that you wanted, or did you just fall into it, or?
Well, so years ago when we started the agency, and then as we were kind of rolling along with it, in the back of my mind, I always believed that you should have multiple streams of revenue. And so I was like, I've got to think about what are some services, what are some things that we could do to sell to people beyond SEO, like a whole different vein of kinds of things. And so I just kind of studied, looked around the industry, what some stuff was out there. I'm like, well, I could build links, I guess. And so I wanted to think beyond that, though, like get a little more focused on it. And I looked at PRs, and at that time, it didn't seem like there were a lot of people at that time that were digging into it. And it seemed like a good opportunity. And so that's how I started. And as we were talking earlier, I have an English degree. As a matter of fact, I actually have a master's in English. I'm like, well, I like to write, so I could write articles and PR shit that works. And so and so it kind of went from there, and then just kind of grew from there, and been doing it ever since.
Right on. So, and how often do you find new stuff that you can add to it? Is it getting harder now that you have so much? Is it getting harder to get, other news agencies or other news wires to come on board, or is it?
It is a constant. Probably for me, what I'm always looking to do is to think, what can we do with these links after?
Mhm.
And how can we add that as a value to the folks who come and do our services and stuff. And one of the things, actually, and I just did, well, not just, but like in the last 6 months, we rolled this out, doing the podcast publishing with the PRs as an after fact. So, and I think, when we were at Digital Unfiltered, and I think your PR that we did for you around Salterra was one of the very first podcast publishing releases that we did. So we take that PR article, we craft an evergreen podcast episode from it, build out the show notes, drop the links in the show notes from it, and then publish it out to about 12 different podcast platforms through the News Guy podcast. And so then it gets just a ton of it gets a good number of backlinks for you on that, and then it just naturally, because of the rides on the power of all of those podcast platforms, that it can give you another organic placement, typically on the first page of search because of the podcast. And so it's like, hey, that was just kind of fun. We cooked that one up last summer. So
Yeah, and then you turn those over to Holly and get the Holly podcast boost. So
yeah.
Well, welcome. I mean, it's a pleasure. I'm so looking forward to seeing you again. It's very exciting to have you back for sure. Andrew, tell us a little bit about yourself. I don't even think we've actually met in person, have we?
We met. Did you go to 31 Flavors?
Oh yeah, I did go to 31 Flavors.
Then I met you like in 2018, and I have not seen you since. So that was really it. So 31 Flavors with Stephen King.
He's a lot grayer since then.
I was going to say, like, Andrew, what were you, like 12 then? Because you barely look like you're 20.
This is what like 6 years of my hobby being SEO and like working nonstop looks like. So yeah. Anyway, I didn't know that a diet has such a big thing with like hair loss and grays and stuff. That's probably the honest answer of like, my diet has gotten so bad. Anywho, so
this is the industry for a bad diet. That is.
Oh yeah. So quick intro for me is I am by day director of marketing for Helium SEO, and I do anything from managing really large enterprise LinkedIn, Facebook ads campaigns, millions of dollars to spend, and I do entity SEO stuff. I improve our systems and processes. And I'm also in charge of bringing in leads to the agency. So do a lot of lead gen. And I don't really talk about that stuff at all, just because I want to be known for just the SEO guy. But, I bring in like 100 leads a month to the agency. And
wow,
that's a thing that I work on. I just don't share it. So in terms of the things that I want to be known for, I want to be known all about AI. I'm the AI guy. I have spent an absurd amount of time on AI every single day. My wife, who was just here, would literally yell, yes, it's annoying. And I try to put AI into every conversation. I'm annoying. But anyway, so I created my own tool. It was originally just for me. And then I decided, I could turn this into a software company. So I did. And it's called ContentSprout.ai. And Clint's testing it out right now. He has no official opinions yet, but I have a lot of happy people that like it and makes it super simple. And the whole idea, if you know Corey, Tugbert, or if you know Bill Slawski, the idea was to create something that was creating content based on how search engines operate, using patent docs as sort of like the basis for all the instructions that I was giving. So that's what I do. And it's really helpful for content research and for writing.
Awesome. And Content Sprout's still pretty new. What is it, about like 3 or 4 months, or is it?
I would say in its current form, it's like maybe 3 months.
Okay.
We were in, I did a mislaunched sort of thing where I called it out of beta. I was in alpha, then beta, then now I'm officially out of beta for 3 months.
That's cool. So, and then did the coming of ChatGPT kind of accelerate that, or were you guys already in the process of doing stuff like that?
So in 2022, December, I got a hold of GPT-3 and I told my wife, the entire industry is going to fall apart in 10 years. I need to dedicate the next year of my life to figuring out AI. Otherwise, I don't have a job. And it's not that I had gotten used to, like, I finally got to a point where I was dominant, where like I was really good at my craft. And I saw something that was going to make it where it's like, I would no longer be dominant. I was like, I really have to get ahead of this. I know early adopters to technology get massive benefits. So that's why I started what I started. Because even if this doesn't work out for SEO, the knowledge I have for, making vector embedding network, for making chatbots, for like, I can do so many things with AI right now. I'm only limited by my time. So that's why I got involved in it. I just saw that SEO, unless you got a good AI process in every part of your company, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, for sure. So, and Content Sprout is just basically based around content, correct? Just nothing.
Yeah.
You kind of stay in your lane and.
For now, the idea is to continue to expand, where I want to provide agency services all across the board. So I think one of the things that's going to happen is every single major platform like Microsoft and Google, you'll be able to have your own chat bot that can dialogue with all of your resources, your YouTube videos. Google will have all that. But the part that I think is missing is everyone has a different tech stack. So my goal is to continue to bring in more and more tech stack type stuff. So if you have a certain project management tool, we can bring in that knowledge. If you have some on Microsoft, you have some with, like, clients have Microsoft sometimes. Maybe you have Google. Bring all that kind of stuff in, be able to have a knowledge base, and then be able to incorporate that into articles, be able to scrape, also translate things, be able to do YouTube video translate or transcriptions. That's kind of some of the stuff. And then I'll work on some automations, topic research, and then just like, I want to hide my prompts and create kind of like a pre-templated, like, click this prompt and then it'll do a bunch of stuff, and then allow others to do the same. So that's the direction we're heading, is kind of, we want to simplify building your own GPT, and we want to give you a bunch of powerful tools and API connections that you'll be able to do just like that.
Yeah. I think that's, you touched on something that I think actually is going to be the currency of AI, which is the prompt. So when you said, like, I want to hide my prompts,
Hide the hell out of those prompts.
Because that is the magic. And if you have got just some dialed in prompts that drive results, and a series of prompts like boom, bada boom, bada boom, stacked up, that I think is high value. And that's where you drive the value benefit of your products, I think. Ultimately, I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah, I just got back from a conference and I talked to Matt Zimmerman about the same thing. At the end of the day, ZimWriter, Content Sprout, Search Atlas, they're all providing a UI, and the differentiator is the prompt. And he talked about how he's developing his prompts in the back end. Not these are my prompts, but this is my thought process of developing those prompts, which I thought was really useful. But it does. I mean, I brought up Content Sprout a couple times at the conference. I brought up Search Atlas as well. Just because it was there and it was fun picking on Matt. But I mean, it's just looking at these and figuring out that you can tell who gives a crap about the actual output, or versus people who are just doing AI in their SaaS so they can say they do AI in their SaaS. And right now, I mean, in fair honesty, just using it, I mean, I haven't used it enough to go, oh, this is awesome or this sucks, right? But I can say that you are right behind Search Atlas. And with just a few more tweaks and a couple more features and stuff that you talked about, in particularly content in with image stuff, that's really what I'm looking at. Like, how do you take content sprout, which is I'm putting obscure niches in it, and it's writing great content for those. So how do you level that up? And I think images in the headings is probably the next step, because and right now, images in the headings is where that's like where Search Atlas is beating you. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
So here,
and that is such a critical piece too in the articles, right? I always think, I evaluate some of these content generators with headline and first paragraph.
Yep.
How are they getting to the meat of the article, and are you captivating the attention and summarizing or answering the question in that first paragraph? And if they're successfully doing that, then generally the rest of the content is pretty solid. But man, if you can really differentiate yourself from that on those particular two items in the article, then I think you could be killer in that niche.
Yeah, one thing I noticed too is Search Atlas, the headings that it creates and the outlines are all repetitive, and they use these same buzzwords: explore, maximize.
Yeah.
And
I hate
Content
that.
Cloud got rid of all of that. And I was like, oh, these are awesome.
And I hate the colon. People put in colons, and that's like a freaking AI generated title. With a colon.
I'm going to push back on the colons. I have a whole prompt sequence for colons.
Yeah, but it's
I actually like colons too.
But it's an automatic trigger that it's an AI content. I look at it like that's AI. And
I mean, at this point, if you're reading an SEO's thing, you're probably reading AI content.
Yeah, for real.
Oh yeah.
Okay, but like, have you ever been in the drug rehab niche?
Oh yeah.
No.
Okay, so I don't know, health. We'll just say health niche in general. If you've seen a Healthline article, many Forbes articles, and then definitely if you've been in drug rehab, that was my thing in Delray Beach back in like 2020. And every single article is basically symptoms, causes, treatments, and like kind of colon or some sort of slash.
Yeah.
And I don't view that as AI, but I think you can definitely tell based on the structure of like the words that they've chosen. That's how I see that it's AI in the title. Whether or not it's the colon, it's pretty easy. And the existence of too many buzzwords, you can get away with like 3 in a 2,000 word article. The moment I see anything more than that, I'm like, this is definitely AI. Yeah. And then there's also the heading structures of like, if there's an H2 with no content and then an H3 immediately following that, AI. It's a poor AI outline is what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, because we still put everything through Grammarly Pro as a last step too. So
I wanted their API. I tried to get it, and then they removed it right as I was ready to bring their API into my tool.
See, that would have been dope because I use it.
Yeah, I know. It would have been so freaking cool.
Well, to have it embedded in there would have been awesome. I have to tell you, Andrew, I gotta give it to you, man, because you stepped in when there's I have no idea how many content generators there are. And so you're like, hey, I'm going to launch one. I'm like, wow.
When I had the thought, no one else was doing it. It was just Jasper. And Jasper was like piecemeal, it was like little tasks.
It was there because it was there. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew people were going to create plenty of tools. That's why I was like, I got to go. I got to get started.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good that you didn't start in the beginning when everyone else did, because now you had this standard that you can beat and differentiate yourself with, right? So,
yeah, my whole thing is that I don't cheat. Eventually I'll try to find a way to optimize costs, but there's not a single part of my process that doesn't use GPT-4 Turbo. Every piece of the process, and I can tell you for a fact, no other tool is doing it. Surfer isn't doing that. I'm not going to name all the competitors. Everyone knows Surfer though. Yeah, no one else is doing that. And it's just because you got to guarantee quality, and until you've really scaled that quality and you know that it's going to be good, you don't really have time to really cut corners.
So I have a question for you. All right. Go Can I ask a question here, Terry? Yeah, I'm sorry, it is your show, but I
no, go for it. This is awesome. So,
I get a little like, hey.
You're the pro at this anyways.
So in our process, we use a couple of different tools. I won't get into it, doesn't matter for my question anyway. But we'll originate an article in one tool, drop it into another, and fine tune it. Would you in thinking about Content Sprout, would you say, you know what, if you did that with our product, what would be, or do you like, no, you don't need to, this product is kick-ass already and it doesn't need any assistance? Or would you say like, yeah, originate it in Content Sprout and then drop it in X, to fine tune it?
That starts with the letter N.
What would that partner be?
Yeah, so my original partner of choice was going to be InLinks. And then once I wrote 100 articles that all scored 100 out of 100 in a row, I realized I don't need to pay for all this stuff or like get an API. I tested Surfer SEO. I tested, I ran like a report. I have a full data study. Until I get a good designer that's finished everything, I'm not releasing it. Tested the top 25 tools, and then I ran 4 different on-page tools. I ran InLinks, I ran On-Page AI, I ran, I believe, Quora, but that one didn't make it into the final thing for whatever reason, but mine scored pretty well with Quora. And then I forgot the last tool, but there was 4. And then all these other AI tools. And once I realized that most of the stuff was there, I just didn't think it was that important. But I do have something I do want to give people, which is like more NLP is part of the roadmap. I do want to have an NLP piece to it that I provide myself. And then there's some prompts too that I use personally that I just use as a side-by-side thing where I will prompt about nouns and verbs, and I'll prompt about different like predicates and different things where I just want to get a list that I can then match my content against. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now to edit, is just like I create an AI list. But honestly, my whole goal with my tool was to say, you don't need any other tools to create your content flow. We're not quite there yet because you still should probably double check. But, I don't want to use Ahrefs unless it's backlinks. I don't want to use an on-page tool because ultimately I'm tired of making writers into like mini SEOs. I just want them to be writers. So if I can output, perfectly optimized SEO content type stuff, then the writer can do whatever the hell they want and just make it interesting or whatever.
Nice. Well, I like that. I like that idea. So maybe I'll keep squeezing on Content Sprout a little bit because it is a process. What we're doing, it is a process of going from one generated and then drop it into another to kind of tweak it. I don't know. And I haven't played with Search Atlas enough on their generation, Clint, to like, does it have a, kind of that surfer-esque, the NLP entities and that in there as well?
Well, I'll come back to that because I don't want to lose my train of thought. You guys know how easy that is for me. A couple of things that he said. One, he didn't want to turn writers into SEOs, and SEOs are stupid retarded when they're trying to do that. Like, go ahead and give me an SEO optimized article. You're just asking for trouble when you hire a writer to do that. Give them the outline. Right now, honestly, the outlines and Content Sprout are hands down the best that are out there. Give them a Content Sprout outline, and there you go. Write your article. When they do that, all those on-page SEO tools, on-page, Quora, Pop, all of them, you don't need any of them for the on-page optimization because the writers are pretty much doing if they're following your outline, they're already handling 99% of what those tools are going to tell you to do anyway. And then when it comes to I always, irregardless whether I'm doing Content Sprout, Search Atlas, or other, I'll always run them through those other tools just because they're using different NLP analysis, and I want to make sure that it's right.
Mm.
Inlinks typically is my endpoint, but you're right. Every one of them that I've taken out of Content Sprout and put into Inlinks, boom, 100.
Mhm.
But when I drop it over a Neuron Writer, there's some engrams in there that are missing that I can add to the content and just make it a little bit better. And maybe, just maybe, if there's some, I don't know, AI genie that Google's figured out to kind of devalue AI content a little bit, I doubt it, but if there is, right, that little touch of Neuron Writer, adding those engrams and then going through Grammarly and cleaning everything up just kind of makes it a little bit better. But it's not, that's like 5 minutes extra work for me to do that. So, and then
does Content Sprout spit out images also, or just content?
No, but I just spent my entire weekend really mastering images where I have multiple use cases for images. So it really pays for me to learn this because I want to use it for agency like ads. And what I've discovered is, and this, I wanted to respond to this earlier, but in my opinion, when AI first came out and all the images came out, there was this kind of glossy sort of love that everyone has for, oh man, these images are freaking cool. And I don't know about you guys, but it took me maybe a month, maybe 2 before what seemed to stand out turned into something that actually made me not want to even click, because AI images that look like AI images, like overly done, like there's like a certain aesthetic. Nah. I think because the speed at which AI can like proliferate amongst the industry and how much we're being bombarded with stuff, if you have an aesthetic that is replicated and used by some person overseas for some nonsense Facebook post and yada yada,
Right.
I actually don't even think that should be in the blog post. And that's the problem, is like the only thing I know of that can make a really good image is there's a really manual process involved. So what I'm exploring is, how do I make that manual process, which I understand how to get now, how do I make that into where something I can kind of like create a brand aesthetic and then output, like save that aesthetic, and then it will modify all the prompts and then create something, because otherwise I just think it's junk and I don't want to offer anything that's subpar.
So when you get to the conference, this for everybody, talk to Chad Lawson. He's got that figured out.
Sweet.
And if it wants to convince you, I mean, he's got examples of AI images, accounts, same avatar, etc., all over Instagram and making money, getting
Getting the
influencer money.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Chad is
easily
awesome.
would transfer over to what you're doing. You create this brand theme and just keep using that brand theme in all your prompts and rotate it through.
Yeah, he's the one doing all our baseball pictures. All our players.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've talked to him a little bit, but we talk more about, we were going the same direction with a prompt, we both want to build like a build your own prompting system. And I know he's building that or has built it, and I'm working on mine too. So yeah, that's all I've talked to him about. I love talking to Chad. He's always been one of my favorites to talk to, though.
Yeah, he's awesome. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
Thanks for joining the boys. Now you finally glamored it up a little bit for us. So Clint, you were saying something about Google being able to identify or devalue AI content. I subscribe to I get that emails from Neil Patel. Did you see the one from him today? That was like, I had to go find it again. It was like, when we looked at what content is ranking on Google, human written articles outrank AI generated content 94.12% of the time.
Well, I think people are getting so good at beating those stupid tools anyway that he doesn't even know. And
I know. I was like, man, he was so precise. 94.12% of the time.
Yeah. That's Neil Patel in his market.
Yeah, I'm sure he analyzed, a very comprehensive 50 websites.
Yes.
Well,
I don't think
I'd like to jump in on that because like when I'm sourcing images for a website, I'm almost exclusively excluding the AI images because first of all, I don't want to run the risk of like 6 and 8 fingers, but like other than that, it's not the right aesthetic I feel for a business website, you know. I don't know.
I agree.
I mean, when you look at, I'll say that I use them pretty much exclusively now for everything, even travel and all that stuff. And we get good results with them. Everyone knows that they're there. Everyone knows that the technology is compatible with it. Our market are not other SEOs, so I could care less what other SEOs think about, oh, your aesthetic. And I get telling brand story, I get telling brand argument, but I also don't want to apply my own biases to it because then it holds me back from doing X, right? Good example. There's like 10 marketers together in the same room, and they're all talking about how they're having success with cold email. My own personal bias is cold email sucks because I'm deleting 500 of those stupid things every day, but they're still working and they're still generating. So my own personal bias was keeping me from using cold email. Getting over that means I needed to do it. So in regards to the images, I think the same applies. You can increase the quality of your images, you increase the quality of subject matter if you want to do like you do and figure out the prompting. If you have the time and the patience to figure out the prompting, you can get good stuff. Or you can take it the other way, which is what I do, is I start using cartoony stuff. I want you to know that I'm using AI. It ain't no big deal. Why don't I use AI? Get some entertainment out of it, get some value. Maybe as the millennials get more money and they have different tastes than I do, Generation X, way more different taste than Boomer Terry there. So it's so I mean, so I use them. I think it's kind of it's normal to use them now. You see them everywhere, and as long as they're not dorky, like you just haphazardly threw away a prompt, then go for it.
Yeah, the only thing I've played with is using Chat GPT to give me prompts and then putting those prompts into what is it, DALL-E 3 or whatever it is. So when I just did a content cluster around IFTT systems yesterday, and the images it generated from that was pretty cool. It's a lot better than the last package that I got about a month or so ago. So I don't know if it's getting better, but I think that maybe asking Chat GPT, hey, you tell me what these images should be for these 10 articles you just wrote.
That is the key, by the way. That is so it's you put an image into, I'd put an image into Midjourney. I get Midjourney to describe the image, and then I go into ChatGPT, and then at the same time I'm asking ChatGPT, how would I prompt for this image? Then you kind of combine the two, and then you get like a really good thing. And then you can use short codes to then run through 500 variations in one prompt to then identify the exact value to that's the winner, and then you can just pick that one.
Wow, that's cool. Right on. So what are you talking about at spring training?
Oh, is that directed at me? I'm talking, there's so much. I literally have like 3 presentations because I don't want to be the guy that just like repeats the exact same thing, because I know that I could teach on prompting. I have a whole bunch of prompt stuff that I could teach without revealing too much of my own stuff. But if like Matt, for instance, I know that's probably going to be one of the things he talks about. I want to make sure that people get the most knowledge possible. So I think what I might teach is how to make your own custom GPT. So I just released like 2 GPTs publicly. And honestly, the direction that OpenAI is going, you're going to be able to connect and loop them all together into a series of interconnected little micro tools. So I think learning how to do that will be really good. So that's one. Image generation, sharing that as well. And then if all else fails, there's like a SEO analysis thing that is just fire that no one else is doing that helps me get clients and helps me upsell my clients that I already have.
That's the
That's
one.
that. Is that gap and opportunity audit that you had in there?
That one, yeah, that's like a market share / it's only, all you need is Ahrefs to do it. And then Stephen King has his own method that's like on steroids. That is like, I mean, it's like a giant cannon of power and no limit to the amount of pages you could analyze. Ahrefs, I wanted something that was like a little bit more quick to use, no custom technology required, and just could give me an analysis that really painted a picture of, hey, how many backlinks are needed, how many pages are needed, what's the likely cost to do this, what's the likely timeline to do this. Because if you have a little bit, at least more data than they've seen before, doesn't have to be the best data, just more data, you've positioned yourself as a data-driven marketer, and it gives them something to present to the CMO or to C-suite. And if you're working with enterprise, that is a must. If you're just doing small local, this is not. That's overkill.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the presentation I vote for.
That's the one you vote for?
Yeah. If you're taking votes.
Yeah, I'll take votes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and I think that, you know, some of that, if you're staying for Sunday afternoon's tech mastermind, you can probably, you know, inject some of that into that. That's part of the event as well. So
Let me see. I can't remember. I posted when my flight was out. I was trying to make sure that on the 8th I left a little bit later.
oh no, this is Sunday the 7th.
Oh,
Yeah,
then I'm
Sunday.
definitely there because I leave on the 7 p.m. on the 8th.
Yeah, if you and Matt there together talking about prompting, that would be awesome.
That
And
would be
Chad.
fun.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and
gosh.
And
that would be-
yeah, that'd be so
Yeah.
fun.
yeah.
I don't even view Matt as a competitor really, because he's offering for a people group that want to be way more hands-on than I want them to be. So he's just going for something entirely different. But yeah, I really respect Matt, especially as a non-SEO that got into this space.
Yeah, patent attorney. I didn't know that about him.
Wasn't he an engineer?
Yeah, that's the first time I met him. That's, you know, I was like, what? Really?
He's like, I love reading patents. Like, you're crazy.
I love the same thing. I didn't even know that he loved it. So I was never a patent attorney though.
He still does it. That's still his gig. He still does it. Yes, he's still doing it.
That's wild.
Zim Writer's his side hustle.
That's hilarious. I love it. He's like for me, seeing him from afar do from the beginning of like his tool version 1 or whatever to where he is now, he has upped his marketing skills so much. He's upped so many skills. It's just very impressive to see. So I respect the hell out of him, even if I don't like his tool at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying everything about that guy is like he's an impressive dude. He's obviously smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he's one of the first people I asked to speak, and just not about ZimWriter, just because of the way his thought process is just, you know, I love that type of, you know, techie type people.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
That's true. Well, that's awesome. So, Randy, you got any swag coming our way for SEO Spring Training? You bringing some stickers, laptop stickers, or anything?
Boy, that's interesting.
I'm throwing you under the bus right here.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah, Callie, no pressure. As you can tell, I have not thought about that.
Well, you keep showing off that 38 digital coffee cup that, you know, in your picture all the time.
Yeah, the picture all the time.
The mug. Yeah.
Eldar brought t-shirts.
Yeah, Eldar.
Yeah, there you go.
Eldar.
Yeah.
Well, Eldar's solid, man. He does it right.
Is he going to the conference? I've heard some people mention that
actually,
guy.
Actually, Eldar's having a baby.
No, not him personally.
Yeah, not him personally. I mean, but his, you know, but yeah, I think he's flying back tomorrow.
Go back to Israel.
Oh yeah. I know.
It was just bad timing for him for spring training.
Yeah, I think he and I were just messaging earlier this morning, and I was like, "Hey, I look forward to seeing you next month." And like, "Yeah, I'm not going to make it." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, really? What?" Yeah,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, you got to plan those babies a little bit better. Eldar.
Yeah, Terry.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about the conference and, a little bit about what's different this year than last year. And, why be excited about this year, especially if you came last year?
Well, okay. So actually, I have all this insider knowledge. So I know all the great, wonderful reasons to be excited. A couple of things that I really love is the fact that each year we have different speakers. So it's not going to be like the same old presentation, the same old people, the same structure. You're really great. You and Clint are great about breaking it up and thinking like, okay, we've got 3 whole days for the event. How are people going to feel if you're just like sitting there for 3 days with like information overload? You're blasted with all of this data, this knowledge, this analytics. And so what I like how you guys have done it is like you've got the morning session, so we get like the big topics, the real overview stuff, the really important stuff. And then the afternoon is the inside breakouts. And so like one of the things last year is, we had like kind of a whole day that was all about agency growth. And some of the feedback was not everybody is really wanting to grow an agency, so that way we have the breakout. So if all you want to do is learn on page for like 3 full days, there you go. That's your jam. That's where you excel. That's what you want. That's what you got. And so I feel like it's, like the choose your own ending books where it's choose your own adventure. And I think that's really great. Lunch is all 3 days, same as before. We're going to make sure that you're well fed and well taken care of, and Samuel's hospitality. But I think that's really cool. I'm so excited to do a baseball game again. I know, Clint is not like the biggest baseball fan ever, but he's going to come drink and hang out and have food with us. Yay, Randy. We already know Randy's a baseball guy.
I'm a baseball guy.
So we're pretty excited about that. I talked to my guy at the ballpark today, getting some of the things finalized, menus, stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about that. I've had a couple of people reach out to me. Some of the speakers want to put some swag in the swag bag. So I've got some surprises there. I'm not going to leak all of the secrets. But I'm pretty excited about it. I think that there's a lot of great things, a lot of different things for everyone, wherever you are in your growth or your agency, or even if you're just a freelancer, just trying to, get over the hump of being the newbie. There's a lot that you can learn, a lot that you can take away.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So on this stuff with the breakout, so if I wanted to, would I still have the opportunity? Would I be able to see still everybody? Right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Terry, jump in and tell them how you design.
Yeah. So, so if you want to see Michael Rayburn one day, and then you want to see Honey Witcher the next day, or you want to, yes, it would. The same people are speaking 2 days.
Okay.
Some people like Terry Power is actually going to talk about 2 different things each day, which would be pretty cool. So I'm leaving it up to the speakers to do that, but it's going to be set up. We're also going to be doing some recording of those. So, and the one thing that only reason we're thinking about recording them is if somebody did miss somebody,
right.
For one reason or another. But we put a lot of thought process in it. A bunch of Google Sheets trying to figure out this whole flow and everything. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So yes, Brian Winham both days.
Because I can't get enough, of Brian. I need more Brian.
Well, and the thing this is the thing I tried to explain to everybody when we first thought about this, and it's not a new idea by any means. The very first conference I went to did this, and actually it kind of backfired on them. But the reason why this one I think is going to be a little bit different is because they are more intimate rooms and settings, and you'll be able to have a whiteboard if you're a whiteboard person, if you're obviously a projector if you're a PowerPoint person, but and it's designed to be more intimate, more ask me questions, what are you struggling with, does this make sense type of kind of conversations. So
It's more engaging because the rooms are small and you're right there with the speakers and you can actually have a conversation. Not only with the speaker, but the speaker can have a conversation with you. To me, that's better than giving a speech, honestly. I prefer to have that conversation with the audience and the engagement. And do they really care about my topic, or they're just listening to me because I'm talking about this topic?
Right.
And if you can pivot if you have to and go another way, or you can really narrow a focus what they're really there for. So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new format. We picked the hotel like we always do, that with networking in mind. So there's lots and lots of hangout places. Each room has its own patio, which is cool. So yeah, we just, so we put a lot of thought process for, into the whole thing of, for people just to get to know people, mingle, hang out, do the stuff that makes these events so awesome, and I mean, we've all been to events that, with one of the ones we went to years ago in Vegas, it was like, go to the event and then, hey, where are you staying? Oh, I'm staying over here and I'm staying over. I mean, there was nothing really to do except maybe go to dinner after the event. But that was it. So, but it's we're excited about it. We're a month out. So actually tomorrow will be a month from today is our golf day. That's the most exciting. Golf day and shooting day. I think everybody wants to shoot guns and nobody wants to golf. So.
I think it's about half and half.
Well, as the non-golfer, I'm like, let's go shoot something. That's good.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm willing to, but I suck.
Just a little bit of heads up. All the coupon codes are going to go away this week, probably the 7th, I think, Sunday. Or no, 7th, yeah. Whatever the days the 7th is. But anyways, all the coupons and codes are going away. We're not going to raise prices at the end like some people do, but we are going to get rid of the coupon codes. So if you want to get in now. The VIP is sold out. If you want, we typically have cancellations, and we're at a hard number for the VIP. So if we do get cancellations, contact Elizabeth and say, hey, if you get a cancellation, I'd like to go to the VIP. It is the Yankees Diamondback game. Go watch the Diamondbacks kick the Yankees ass, and have some fun eating hot dogs and stuff.
I do have spots in the tech mastermind. And then of course all the general admission is absolutely open, room to grow. But the tech mastermind, I really think that's kind of the place to be. I know last year was the first year that we really kind of integrated it into the conference instead of having a separate offsite event. And I just think that blew everybody away. I think the feedback and the response from what happened in that room, and it was standing room only, and it was amazing. Some of the things that you guys discussed and talked about. It was pretty.
And
awesome.
we had a cutoff date last year, cutoff time. This year we don't really have that, so which is going to be nice. We're not going to hey, it's 2:00, we got to leave.
Yeah, I will tell you the stuff that was dropped in the tech mastermind piece was like, whoa, that's the real nuggets of gold flying around there. It was
pretty awesome.
What's tech
also, I think the room block is getting ready to expire soon.
I'm going to connect with the hotel again today and make sure where my hard date is. I know she might give me a little leeway. It's technically supposed to end today, but if somebody reaches out to me, let me know. You guys got to book. The link is on the website. Andrew, did you have a question?
I was asking about the tech mastermind. Like, what are the kinds of things? Is it specifically like, is it Ted Kubitis type technical stuff, or is it more Chad Lawson, like
it's more Chad. What is it? Chad, who do we put in there? Chad, Simon Cornelius,
Holly.
Holly.
Cato.
Cato Sheets.
Yeah, Cato.
Which is Cato, by the way. I've been calling him Cato for years.
Yeah, I've been calling him Cato. He hasn't corrected me yet, so it's Cato.
I feel bad. I like Cato better. I just like the sound better.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna change it for him.
Yeah, there we go. Oh.
So, but yeah, and that's so yeah, that was part of the stuff that we saw last year. Is just some of I think we were one of the first people to see Cato's sheet stuff.
Oh yeah. Have you seen?
Well, and the way it works is like anybody in the room can share. It's not like Clint said, it's not like somebody's talking down at you and presenting to you. It's more of an open forum. So you can piggyback your ideas off of each other and okay, hey, well, did you think about this? And what about that? And how do you do that? And so the fact that it's super interactive, and then you guys will have access to the internet so that you can pull stuff up, see things in real time. It's not like you're looking at a PowerPoint. It's like, let's really dig in, break it apart, and see what works, kind of thing.
That was the cool thing about it that I was like marveled at, was because, say somebody like Simon Cornelius was doing some presentation, or what he was working on, and there were a couple of people in the room that were working on it and doing different things with his tool or with his process. And then they would chime up like, yeah, and if I did this and I tweaked it this way, or we did this or whatever, and I got this result, or this is how I'm using it. It was like, whoa, it was like getting real life engagement on whatever process or something that somebody was talking about, which was like really awesome. I mean, you don't get that in a large presentation kind of thing.
No.
Not like that.
For sure.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And the Tech Mastermind will not be recorded.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Matter of fact, we actually removed the cameras from the room just so there's no accident.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm excited. I don't know if Simon shared this. Simon and I are in a mastermind together, but Simon and Corey have been working on something super cool. I work with entity. My SEO work is like all entity based for the most part because I have a team for everything else, and they've just made the process so much easier. And it's such a cool tool. I hope he talks about it.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, Simon's one of our dear friends. I mean, I think I've known Simon longer than anybody in this business. And it's and some of he's got this brain that just it's funny. So at one of these days, go to his house and look at his whiteboard in his office.
Oh yeah,
I can only imagine it's like his brain on a whiteboard. It would like, wow, that's
and he understands all of it. He'll even I was with it. We had a group, I don't know, probably before COVID, and met every Saturday, and we do a lot of technical stuff, and he'd turn his camera towards his whiteboard and stuff. And he's the reason why we have to have whiteboards at the.
That's awesome.
Any other questions or comments, gentlemen and lady?
Comments. I was gonna comment something that Randy said earlier at the beginning about your audio thing, man. So I was gonna get your feedback. One of the things I was considering was adding an audio, like automatic audio thing, like integration with 11 Labs. So I was curious, is that something that you think you're using it for podcasts? So is that something that you think is helpful to have that, or does it make more sense for people just to go externally to their own tool of choice or like provider of choice to get some sort of audio transcription or audio version of their content or whatever? You had said it in the
I'm thinking about it. Well, I suppose it really is depending upon, I guess, your direction. If you wanted to be an all-in, like, hey, come here and we can be your content provider in all aspects, right? So both written, audio, visual as well. I mean, then you could go and like, hey, we'll convert it to a video as well. I mean, that would be pretty cool, actually. So if you could save me where I would not have to have, 20 different tools that I'm using.
Then I'll explore that more. Because you were asking about the press release thing too. Is like, that's something no one has really done, is made like a AI press release, like a formatted thing for them.
Yeah.
Well, the whole concept, right, is you create an article and then you turn that article into a video and then you
Right,
turn that video into a podcast.
Yeah.
And that sort of syndication is not new. And there's plenty of people in the marketplace that are smart enough to do it. So
Yeah.
if you have a tool that makes it easier to facilitate that versus moving around. I mean, you wrote the article, for Christ's sake, so you already know
exactly.
how to turn that into a transcript for a video that could be spoken by an AI voice and then overlaid over some video with some AI images.
Right.
Golden right there.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Imagine if, in your tool then, Andrew, if I could just questions. Do you want this in an audio file after it's completed? Do you want us to convert and make it into a video as well? And like, yes, yes, do that too. That would be like, and then, however, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, however long, it's like there, I've got my 3 pieces of content that I could then distribute across, connect my YouTube channel to, and then publish, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one piece that you'll still need to publish. Unless I get a lot more funding, I will not be able to get all those APIs, but that sounds cool. I like that vision of that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm just waiting for Sora, man. Once Sora comes out, that's when.
Oh my gosh, that is a little scary though. Jeez.
You have there's I'm sure we're all familiar with AGI, but there's this concept that AGI is not a uniform sort of thing. It's pieces, kind of like I used to play a game called Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's a card called Exodia, and you had to capture 5 different pieces, the head, the arms, and the feet, and then you automatically win the game if you play it. And that's how I'm kind of seeing the AI. It's like, okay, you have content and translations and all that stuff. You have audio, you have video, you have code, and then those are all the elements needed in order to essentially create a universe and to understand the universe.
Yeah.
So I think it's just going to be a weird world. But I'm here to make money off of it. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think it is going to be a weird world, and hopefully we'll all make money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Be looking for other things to pivot to, like owning a tinting company or.
There you go.
Some kind of a services
business. Yeah, the South Park episode about it. I don't know if you saw that. There's a special episode about was it the Panderverse or something? I think is what it was called. They made fun of Disney while simultaneously having something about AI. But basically the people that became the really big, Jeff Bezos types were the plumbers and the people that could do general handiwork. And all these people with special skills like lawyers and stuff were trying to throw money at the general contractors.
That's funny.
That's the world.
Exactly. You got anything else, Miss Elizabeth?
I don't think so. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of fun. All the behind the scenes, all the crazy. But reach out. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If there's, any groups or agencies that are looking to send their team, reach out to me directly so I can hook you guys up. That's all.
Yep. So we're going to try to do 3 or 4 of these a week, sporadically, try to get more time frames. If you have any questions for any of the speakers coming up or even speakers that were in the past, let us know. Like I said, it's if you're on the fence about spring training, coming to spring training, SEO spring training, I got to make sure I add that SEO part because there is actual spring training going on. Just reach out. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. We haven't had anybody regret coming since or yet. So I don't think we will in the future. So, but just please remember, don't wait too long. We are expecting to, close a lot of stuff down, especially as we get closer. I kind of like to take the last week off, so I don't really want to be doing a bunch of stuff the week before. So that's too stressful. But yeah, reach out. Thank you for joining us today. Has anybody else got any last minute words or anything?
Nice to connect with Andrew finally.
Yeah, good to connect with you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see you again. I forgot that we met at I met so many 31 flavors was probably the one event I met so many people at.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was my
either
favorite event. I think.
yeah,
I just met
maybe
so
if
many people.
Kang don't do one again, maybe we'll do a 32 flavors or something. But it was pretty cool. So
That was awesome.
but all right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. I know you're all busy. Reach out if anybody has any questions or comments about what we can do better. We're still new at this. Of course, we brought on the pro Randy this time. So
Yeah. Right.
I think Randy's tried every software, every camera combo, every microphone combo.
I've played around with some stuff. Yeah.
But all right, guys and girls, thank you so much for joining us. Again,
right.
reach out if you need anything. And we'll see you next time. Wednesday at 10 a.m. is the next one.
Very
Thanks.
good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.